The next question on WhatsApp. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Hamadullah, a BS Computer Science student from Pakistan, Karachi. My age is 21 and I belong to a Muslim family. My question is that there are many sources nowadays from where we can learn Islam. But I'm a little confused from where I start learning Islam. Give me the best source of learning Islam in a best way. Thank you. Though the question is very simple, that can you give me the best source from where to learn Islam? But since science and technology has advanced, the answer is not as simple as the question is. The best way that anyone can learn anything, it is one-to-one. That's the traditional form coming down the ages and century, that a teacher teaches a student one-to-one, that is the best. And that's what the Prophet spoke to the Sahaba, one-to-one. It is the best. One-to-one individual teaching is number one. After that, maybe one teacher and a few students, it may be a small halqa, like the Prophet spoke to the Sahaba spoke to the other people, one and a small group. If you go up, next stage, okay, one in a bigger group. Today, we have tuition. One-to-one tuition is the most effective. And if it's a specialist who's doing one-to-one tuition, of course, he's going to charge you a bomb. He's going to charge you a lot of money. So that is the reason people appear for the 12th standard, for the medical examination. They have teachers, in biology and in other subjects, one-to-one. And they charge exorbitant, but that is the most effective. So in learning process, one-to-one by an expert is the best. Next best is one in the classes. You may have some classes, maybe training classes, one teacher and 20 students or 30 students. That's the next best. Or one teacher in a big audience of thousands of people. So best is one-to-one individually, then one-to-one in a small group, one-to-one in a big group. Now, since the last few decades, science and technology has advanced, or maybe a century ago, and advanced more in the last few years. Besides one-to-one live, you have other ways of media. Besides one-to-one live, you have the print media, you have the audio media, you have the video media, and then the internet. In the print media, of course, reading books is the best. Of course, there are newspapers, magazines, etc. But you asked me the question, how do I learn Islam? So if you have a scholar who you know and is willing to give you one-to-one time, that is the best. Nothing better than that. And Allah has blessed me that I had the opportunity of learning one-to-one. When I started Dawah, I always wanted the best. And I wanted to learn Arabic as a language, so I went to Dr. Fab Darhim, and he agreed to give me 5 hours every day, for 6 months, but couldn't spend that much time. Then I studied Hadith one-to-one with Sheikh Dr. Zakir Naik. He was the dean and the head of the Hadith department of Medina. I used to spend about twice a week, a few hours with him. So one-to-one is the best. Then sitting with scholars like Sheikh Abdul Aziz Turaifi, then Sheikh Salim Munajjid, Sheikh Jadu, so one-to-one is the best. It is multiple times better than taking classes for hours and days together or reading books for weeks and months together. So best is if you have a scholar who's well-versed and is willing to give one-to-one, it's the best. If not, then classes, halqa, durus, like when my son was studying in Riyadh, in Jamiat al-Imam. He was there for about, I think, 6 or 7 years. He used to attend 4 times a week the classes, durus, of Sheikh Abdul Aziz Turaifi, and even other shuyukhs. That classes is. So the second media, or after the one-to-one you come to the media, one-to-one or classes or durus or lectures. Now also, if you can attend lectures, live lectures of some dais, it has a better impact than reading books or hearing videos. So one-to-one if you cannot, then classes. If not classes, then live lectures. You may be one in a few hundred or one in 1,000, but yet the impact is different. Like watching a live football match is different than watching on the television. But naturally, the live session has a greater impact, hearing a dai or a scholar, than seeing the video or reading his book. After life, is coming to the other media, print media, audio, video, internet. In print media, of course, you can get knowledge from the books. In terms of, depending on what you like, whether you like books, whether you like video, whether you like net, whether you like live, all depend. Live, of course, it's not possible. Even if you like, you may not get the top scholars. So it's preferable to read the books or hear the videos of top scholars than live one-to-one of an average teacher. In the books, of course, the best book you can read, it is the glorious Quran. If you don't know Arabic as a language, read the translation in the language you understand the best. Best is the Quran. Read as many times as you can. The more you read, the more you love it. The more you'll get attached to it. Whether it's 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, you will not get bored, believe me. It's a unique book. It's the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is incomparable to any book in the world. It's the most positive book in the world. It's the future world constitution. It's a proclamation to humanity. So best book is the glorious Quran. If you don't know Arabic as a language, you read it in the translation, you understand the best. Then you can read the seerah of the Prophet. And one of the good books, seerah, is the Raik al-Maktum. It's available in translation in English and other languages also. Then the books of hadith, of course, there's Bukhari, Muslim, but it's difficult for a layman. So you can start with Umdatul Ahkam. It's a book talking about the rulings, hadith that relate with the things which are prohibited and things which are permitted, etc. Umdatul Ahkam or Bulughul Maram. And then you can go to books of other hadith like Bukhari, Muslim. First read the summarized version is short, and the new version that has come out, Jami Kamil, where all the Sahih hadith have been collected together and the duplicates have been removed. It is 16,456 hadith. It was compiled by a Sheikh, Dr. Zair Azmi, who was one of my first earlier teachers in hadith. So that if you read, you can safely say that I've covered all the Sahih hadith available on the face of the earth. If not all, almost all you can say safely. And depending upon your liking, whether you like science, whether you like technology, you can read books, Quran and science, you can read books on comparative religion. The number 2 category is books. Third is audio. You can hear audio tapes or DVDs. Of course, now very few people listen to it. But there are occasions, for example, you're driving a car. If you're driving a car, you cannot watch the television, it's not allowed, but you can always hear. So if you're driving a car and regularly you go to your work and you're driving for 1 hour up, 1 hour down, half an hour down, or whatever it is, you can utilize this time by hearing the recitation of the Quran, or hearing the translation of the Quran, or hearing talks given by top scholars and du'ats, talking of seerah of the Prophet, talking seerah of the Khulafa Rashidin, of Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Ali. You can do 2 in 1. While you're driving, or while you're going with the driver, you can always listen to the audio, and you can utilize your time and gain Islamic knowledge. The third category is video. You can hear video cassette. If you're traveling in a car and sitting, if you have a driver, then you can watch on the screen. Videos you can watch on your laptop. And if you're sitting at home and you don't have to, you can watch at your time, which is convenient. There's something like television, that's a live program. It's coming on a particular time. And amongst the Islamic satellite channels available in the world, the most authentic and the largest for Islamic satellite channel is the Peace TV network. MashaAllah, the Peace TV network, it's in Peace TV English, Peace TV Urdu, Peace TV Bangla. Previously, it used to cover 95% of the world population. Now we have stopped beaming to North America, and now it's covering more than 85% of the world population. And alhamdulillah, its viewership is more than 100 million, all the 4 languages put together. And amongst the English channels, the best I would recommend is Peace TV English, and very knowledgeable. The other, I'm aware of about 3 satellite channels which are international channels that's covering many foreign countries. Number 1 is Peace TV, covering at one time 95% or 85% of the world population. The other satellite channel worth mentioning is Huda TV. Though it's not covering 85% of the world population, but are covering many countries of the world. And since last few years, it's also beamed on Intelsat 20. So yes, I'm wrong. Now, since the last 3 years, it is pure. Intelsat alone covers 70% of the world population. Its It is weird that when I speak with people who started the English channel, where is the channel? Okay, only in USA. Where? Only in UK. They fail to realize that the majority of the Muslim-speaking English audience, where is it? It's in the Indian subcontinent, in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So people, they start channel, and if you're starting a channel only beaming in the Gulf country, how many English-speaking Muslims are in the Gulf country? Hardly any. Today, the Muslim population is more than 2 billion, out of which 1/3 of the Muslim population, 650 million, are in the Indian subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. And do you know, in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh alone, the majority of the Muslims that speak English is in Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. If roughly I have to estimate, maybe 400 million out of the 2 billion of the Muslims, they speak English, out of which more than 200 million, 50% of the English-speaking Muslims are in the Indian subcontinent. So if you're starting a channel trying to reach the Muslim audience and you don't cover India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, then you cannot be called as an international channel. So Peace TV was the only channel that started in 2006, and we are covering. And Huda TV, since the last 3.5 years, they started also beaming on the Intelsat 20. And there are, so these two are the major Islamic channels. There are other channels which are less on some part. There is Islam channel, there is Guide TV, there is Iman channel, but the reach is not as much as the Peace TV. So of course, if you're at Peace TV, you'll find authentic. If you want to watch satellite channel and gain knowledge, Peace TV is a good option, and even Huda TV is there. If it's video, you want to watch video now, you don't hire video cassettes. Now you have video platforms. So of course, in the video platform, I would recommend Al Hidayah. Al Hidayah is the largest platform which has video on demand. The largest platform that contains thousands of hours of Islamic recording in English alone. There are more than 40 authentic Islamic speakers from different parts of the world, and there are thousands of hours. So if you want to watch video, the biggest platform that I can recommend to you watching it is Al Hidayah platform, which has most of the content of Peace TV in it. So one is the satellite channel, one is going to a video platform that has content and is absolutely free. Of course, you can use the social media, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and the videos are available a lot. But where will you try and find out which is authentic? So if you want to be safe and listen to authentic Islamic da'is, etc., safe bet is watch Peace TV for the satellite channel. If it's video, then Al Hidayah platform. Coming to the last or the fourth type of media, it's internet. On the internet, the best website that I can recommend to you, it is IslamQA. IslamQA.info or IslamQA.com. It is supervised by Sheikh Salim Munajjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him the best in this world and inshallah in the akhirah. And he's a great scholar, one of the great living scholar. And that website is the most popular Islamic website in the world. The maximum, it is there in 14 languages. And if you have any query regarding Islam, you can go to the website, just go on the Google and type your question. After that, type IslamQA and you'll get. But when you go, it should be IslamQA.info. There are other IslamQA also, but IslamQA.info or IslamQA.com, it is the one I'm talking about. And it is one of the most authentic websites for fatwas. And you can safely say, as long as Islamic ruling is concerned, it is the most authentic that I know of. You can easily give it more than 90 marks out of 100, easily. Overall, of course, in terms of logic, it may not have such high marks, it may have lesser marks, whether it's science, etc. You may differ with some of the answers. Overall, the website can easily get 85 out of 100. The best website for fatwa, the best website for Islam as far as my knowledge goes. The other good website is Islam Web. That's also a very good website. I'll put number 2. Islam Online is there. Now this is mainly websites going for fatwas and asking questions. But if you want to learn about Islam, of course, there are learning management system called as LMS or Islamic courses. Again, if you want to learn Islam through courses, the best platform I can recommend is Al-Hidayah. Al-Hidayah has got two parts. One is the video on demand, thousands of hours of video, and the other section is called as the Islamic courses. And there are more than 40 different Islamic dais from many countries in the world which have the courses. So if you go to this section, it has two parts, and there are a variety of categories in the video section as well as courses. In the video section, you have TV talks, you have lectures, you have debates, you have quizzes, you have group discussion, and variety. And same thing, even in the Islamic courses, there are various subjects, whether it be video on demand or you have subjects like Quran, Hadith, Sharia, Fiqh, whether it be Islamic economics, whether it be Dawah, whether it be comparative studies, whether it be Islam, whether it be Christianity. The list is long. And there are hundreds of courses available. So if you want to learn from the net through a learning management system, the best I would recommend is Al-Hidayah. So the choice is yours depending on what you like, whether you like reading book, whether you like hearing audio, whether you like seeing videos, whether you want an interactive session, whether it's so I've given you the various options, but of course in all these things best is the Quran. So if you go on the website and if you want to do some course, you do the course of the Quran, whether it be translation of the Quran, tafsir of the Quran, Quran is the best. And then the seerah of the Prophet, and there is Quran and science, Quran, Islamic economics, and the list is long. So depending upon liking, you can choose what you want to do and inshallah gain knowledge. Hope that answers the question.